We have visited to Thaldena in Badulla area. This is a rural village which is situated along Badulla Mahayangana road. Thaldena is still developing and road constructions are still ongoing. When we consider the usages of cattle, only the food purpose comes into our mind at once. But there is another unknown side called draft purpose. When it comes to draft purpose, we use those cattle for ploughing, milling and transport as well. So today, we wish to discuss about the Thavalam industry which is mainly happening in Badulla Thaldena area.
In Badulla area, there is often practice in cattle draft purposes, mainly as Thavalam and ploughing. But unfortunately, this would be the final era of Thavalam practices. They use different type of carts for Thavalam as well as for ploughing, such as bullock carts, rodom carts, hackari, bagal carts. They use a single bull or as a couple to travel the carts. We were able to meet Mr. Gunapala, one of the tinkers on that area. He was also doing Thavalam transporting, but today he has to give up it because of the less employment in Thavalam. A cart can be used for 15 years. There is a special brake system with a fallen down piece of trunk in the carts. Let's move to identify the parts of a cart. The wheel has 4 main parts. Those are Bosgediya, Garadiya, Vangur and Pattam.
මේක ගරාදිය.
ගරාන්දිය.
ඔව්. මේක වංගිය. මේ තියෙන පත්තම.
They use Gansuriya, Buruta, Milla, Wellan timbers for making the body structure of the cart. The roof is prepared with cans and the shelter with the kajan leaves. The dock is prepared with 2 crossing bars. Horseshoes are specially used for Thavalam bulls to protect their heels. It helps to avoid slipping and damaging to the leaves. Mr. Gunapala showed the parts of the horseshoe and the way of inserting to the heel. There were 2 equal parts of the horseshoe. It is inserted with pins. The pins are made in the tinker shops. But the inserting of horseshoe should be done a very skillful, experienced person. Otherwise, it would be an inconvenience to the bull.
Dan මේක මෙහෙම උඩට රිවර්ස් වෙන්න ගන්න.
ඊට පස්සේ ගහලා ඉවරනාට පස්සේ සතාට මුකුත් ආයේ බේත් දැවිලි මුකුත් ඒවා වෙන්නේ නැහැ නේ නේද?
ඒවා කිසිම දෙයක් නෑ.
First, we have to lay down the bull to insert the horseshoes. First, he wrapped the bull's forelegs by using a rope and tied over the belly. Then the bull is laid down. Then a tire is kept under the legs to facilitate the inserting horseshoe. Mr. Gunapala started this job since age 10. They need 400 rupees to insert horseshoes for all 8 heels. Tavalam is done once a week. Usually, the horseshoe insert is done once 3 months. It should be inserted to the nail, not to the skin. Otherwise, the bleeding would be incurred. Usually, we have to train a bull for Tavalam since its tender age. Often, the bull calf is brought with the experienced bull. Then the calf is getting used for the Tavalam. The main constraints of these Tavalam industries are lack of road constructions and the lack of involvement of the younger generation. Now you can see the way of inserting frame into the wheel by Mr. Aaron. First, the wheel is removed from the cart and sent to the tinker. Then the old frame is removed from the wheel by cutting.
දැන් ඕක
දැන් මේක දැන් හම් කරලා ඔය. දැන් මේක දැන් ඉතින් කපලා අයින් කරනවා. ඒක මේක අයින් කරනවා.
මේක රත් වෙච්චාම එනවා.
Then the new frame is heated up to high temperature and inserted at once to the wheel and dipped in a water basket to cool down. This is the pit that he used to heat the frame using burnt coconut husk. The expanded frame gets sealed to the wheel due to the contrasting of metal. Besides Tavalam, they practice wet rice cultivation by using bulls for land preparation. It is difficult to use machineries to small paddy cultivation in this area. So, the animal labor is very essential for the land preparation of paddy. And also, bulls are used to land leveling. We have visited to Mrs. Nandavati's paddy field in Pittapola area. Now, they are going to prepare the land for wet rice cultivation. They use 2 castrated bulls for it. Number 25 flow is connected to the animals by using a special support. Flowing is done by using a couple of bulls, and it is started in morning and have an interval in noon. Then it started again in evening. This is controlled by a very skillful, experienced person.
The Tavalam industry of Sri Lanka is now being concentrated to a small number of rural areas, and the using of cattle and buffalo in paddy field activities also done very rarely by some rural farmers. These are our own traditional technologies that express how our ancients contributed to the development of the country, and it is important to protect these cultural practices within generations, because those are the basement of Sri Lankan agriculture.